the kind of game that you would imagine that France is going to be quite comfortable in. So there could be quite a few goals in this. If you've got any French players, and I don't, but if you've got any French players, then this could be a very enjoyable evening for you if you've got them in your fantasy team. Let me just have a look at the FIFA rankings. I'll tell you where Hungary are. I've got a feeling it's around about 37, something like this. So France are ranked number 2 in the world. Hungary are ranked. We are going down. Number 37. Oh, no way. I must have looked at this the other day and it's just stored in my brain. But yeah, number 37. So, right, we've got France, number 2 versus number 37. That's got to be one of the widest gaps in the tournament. Although saying that, we did see England at number 4 take on Scotland at 44. So, and obviously that ended in 0-0. But, yeah, I mean, a lot of the talk about the England game is just about how negative England have been set up. We know that Gareth Southgate is going to go defensive first. Even just listening to Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer they're saying that you can't win a tournament in the group stage, but you can lose a tournament in a group stage. I get all of this. I mean, it's just, I get everyone's frustration as well, because I feel that frustration. You want him to take the shackles off. You want him to be a bit more aggressive. When you look at the attacking threat that we've got, when you look at the likes of Sancho not even getting off the bench, the fact that we get a 0-0 is a bit disappointing, but it doesn't really matter if we finish first, second or third in this group, to be honest. I think we're going to get through. I don't think we can finish fourth now, to be honest. I'd have to have a look and see how it would. I think in order for us to go out, there'd be some very quirky results needed now. But we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good as if we're going to go through. Really, it looks like it's down to Croatia and down to Scotland to fight it out for third. I think if England and Czech Republic draw, then Czech Republic go through top, England would go through second. So a draw would put us through second, a win would put us through first, and I don't know what would happen with a loss, because if we lose and Scotland win, then I don't know, I'd have to have a look and see how that would work, to be honest, but I think it would all depend on how many goals Scotland score, wouldn't it? Because we've already drawn 0-0 with Scotland, so I think it would come down to goal difference. So there's lots of connotations, lots at play, but England are looking pretty good. Paul Turner, shout out to you, hope you're well. Big Christoph says, we don't need 2 defensive midfielders on a pitch pushing for a winner. Sancho needed to come on. It's too frustrating. Well, I was saying this yesterday. I personally feel that even if you brought Sancho on, I don't know how much of a difference Sancho would have made. It really depends who you're bringing him on for. It felt like the system was wrong. I did a quick 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the end of the game where we was just talking about, like, you know, in conclusion. And I really feel that the system is not working for us. There's big gaps in the centre where it seems like we were working the channels, we were working the wings, but we weren't brilliant in the midfield. It felt at time like when we lost the ball, Scotland just had so much room in the middle of the park because there wasn't really anyone in there. Mason Mount is buzzing all over the place like a fly. Like, he's absolutely everywhere. He's not keeping himself centred, which isn't a problem, but it does leave that area a little bit thin. Obviously, you know, you've got people like Sterling and like that naturally are going out wide, Shaw going out wide. It kind of leaves just Phillips and Rice, but Rice was always sitting quite deep. Phillips was kind of going wherever as well. I mean, it did kind of leave it where you had one midfielder, 2 midfielders, with like 5 people coming towards you. So I kind of feel that the system isn't working for us. because it defensively is making us sit very deep. Rice is back there. We've got a nice defence. We've got Rice back there as well. So defensively, we're okay. But if you need a goal, it's not brilliant. It's not brilliant. I feel like we need to mix it up a little bit. I really like Scotland having 5 in the midfield. It just looked like a wall, and with that attacking threat, that could be interesting. So I think they played like a 3-5-2. I would be kind of interested in seeing England take a little look at that, especially where Harry Kane's struggling at the moment, and especially where Harry Kane keeps dropping so deep. Kind of feel like you need a second person up there. We've said this before, but Kane and Rashford up top, with 5 across the midfield, 3 in defence, could be very interesting. So your centre in the midfield would be someone like Declan Rice, who can drop back and make a back 4 if needed. And I would just be interested in really looking at something like that. But I don't know if he'll do it. I certainly don't expect him to do it for the Czech Republic. And, obviously our focus right now is on France against Hungary. And Mbappe is going to be playing for France, of course. And I could see him getting a couple of goals today. James Chadwick, shout out to you. Harley said, Days, 2 pieces of news. First of all, another big report is saying Edge will wrestle at SummerSlam, and Becky was spotted at SmackDown and was spotted training at the Performance Center. Shout out to you, Harley. Chompaz says Kane didn't show up. He looks injured. LSW said, Days, I think it's coming home. It's on its way. It's just crashed and it's broken down. Hey, listen, as long as it finally gets here, then I'm absolutely fine with it taking its time to come on home. So, yeah, we are still waiting. If you are just joining us, we are still waiting for it to come home. But we are still hopeful that it's on the way. We've had a little email from Amazon saying that it is on the way. But there is just a slight delay. So, hopefully it will come home eventually. Right, we are in Budapest. I've still got Wembley behind me, haven't I? I'm still hoping that game's going on and that England will score a goal. But, yeah, we are in Budapest, so let's change this background image. You can see that we do have the Hungary team news. I think a few people might have players from Hungary because they're relatively cheap to get a hold of. So we do have the Hungary team news on screen. I'm not sure if that's the team news that's going to excite everyone. I mean, look at Hungary. Hungary are about to play France, and they're playing a 3-3 at the back, 3-5-2. I think 3-5, like that wall across the midfield works so well for Scotland. So this is what I'm saying. If you used to bring on if you used to take off Sancho, take off Sterling and bring on Sancho, or I'm not sure how you would move it around, to be honest, how you would tweak it and change it, but Southgate was doing like for like, and I really think it's the system that needed to change. So 3-5-2 for Hungary, and this is what the world champions are playing. They're playing a 4-1, 2-1. They're playing basically a 4-3-3. Or you could class it as a 4-4-2, but it's classed as a 4-3-3. But they've got, I suppose, if we was to play this, how would we play this? If we was to play this, we would play Rice where Conte is. I think Mount would probably be where Griezmann is. I know a lot of people would want Grealish there. You could put Grealish there, but you could put Mount where Pogba or Rabiot is. You could put Phillips there. If that was England, using like similar players that we had yesterday, Conte would be Rice, Rabiot and Pogba. You could have as Mount and Phillips, or you could go with Mount and Bellingham, Griezmann, or Henderson, of course. Griezmann would be Grealish and up top you could look at Rashford and Kane. So just a different formation to think about. I mean, I don't mind the formation that England play, but it is very defensive. What are people's score predictions? Yeah, feel free to get your score predictions in. I think this is going to be quite well, I thought there'd be goals yesterday and there weren't. I'm hopeful there'll be goals in this one. Here we go. We've changed it to the correct stadium. We are at the, what do they call it? The Puskas Stadium. We are in Budapest, in the Puskas Stadium. It's a nice looking stadium, this, actually. Looks really, really nice. 3-1 France, says Lewis. 3-0, says Tall Paul. 3-1, says Athel. 2-1 Hungary, says Rafi. Really? Do you think 2-1 Hungary? Dave said, how's the hangover? You're looking well after 802 bottles of Bud. I'm actually, mate, I can drink that and feel perfectly fine the next day. But I tell you what, it's not that. It's the fact that this is quite early. Like, we haven't actually been doing the early game for a while. We've been skipping the early game and then doing, like, the 2 later games. But we have got UFC tonight. And because this is France as well, I was like, I can't really skip this one. It's France. It's the current world champions taking on Hungary, and there could be some goals in this. So we are doing France-Hungary. We are doing Portugal-Germany straight after as well. And then we've got UFC after that also. So it's going to be quite a long day today. So I'm still in the process of waking up. I really didn't wake up long before the stream started. It was around about half an hour. Half an hour before we began to open my eyes. So, yeah, I'm still in the process of waking up. But we'll get there. I'm sure the football is going to help wake me up. Certainly the coffee is helping as well. But shout out to everyone that's joining us. This is what I like about watching France is they really do have some of the best players in this tournament. I really enjoy watching Kante. Mbappe as well is so exciting, so explosive, such power. He's a brilliant, brilliant player. So it's great watching Mbappe. It's great watching Kante. In fact, they've just got a little look at Kante right now. And they're just showing, like, what makes him him. And they've got some footage of him as a kid, like, training and playing in Paris. And, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. It's kind of, I know he's just won the Champions League at Chelsea, but it is a surprise that he's not playing for a team like Real or Barcelona or especially PSG. I'm surprised that one of those teams haven't come in for him. Justin said, welcome to a tired days. Bonyak said, I'm pretty sure France is hungry. They haven't eaten in days. Harley said, days, it's illegal to wake up. My body does feel that way right now. Dave in real life is predicting 3-0 to France. It's Frenchie is predicting 3-1 with an Mbappe hat-trick. France is hungry. Did you hear that Ericsson is at hospital? I did hear that, yes. That news came through yesterday, which is brilliant news. Apparently he had that little surgery, didn't it? I say little. Might not have been little, but he had that surgery to install that. So he's got, we've only briefly touched about this and spoke about this, but he's got that defibrillator built in now. So whenever, hopefully never, but if it ever happened again, the defibrillator that's built into him would actually restart his heart. If there's a heartbeat, if the heartbeat loses, the defibrillator would restart it. So it's kind of crazy. It is mad to think where science is now. The fact that we can do that, it's really cool. I don't know if there's any tests to see if people would need one. I don't know, is it in his genetics Was this always going to happen? Is there a test for it? It'd be interesting to get those answers, because how many of us are walking around that could happen to? Do you know what I mean? He's so fortunate that it happened in front of the world. I said before, like, you don't want it to happen, but if it was always going to happen, imagine if it happened whilst he was at home on his own. Do you know what I mean? And he collapses and there's no one there. At least this has happened in front of the world, and in a stadium, and a defibrillator is right there. So I know it's not much of a positive, but it's something, isn't it? It's something. He's still with us, and he's out of hospital, and that's great. Jacko said, do I still have time to make Mbappe captain, or shall I keep it Ronaldo? You've got to do what you feel is right there, my friend. Both of them are great options. But I'm not sure if you've got time. You might have time. It might be as soon as the game starts, but in all fairness, they've announced the teams now. So they might not allow you to change it once the teams have been announced. So you could certainly try, but you might not even be able to do it now. James Chadwick said United have made an improved bid for Sancho worth 75 million. That's cool. I hadn't seen that. I've literally only opened my eyes recently, though, so that might be why I've not seen it. But, this thing is dragging on a little bit, isn't it? Why are United always so difficult in the transfer market? I don't quite understand. Like, we wanted him for 80 million last year. We never got him. Now, finally, Dortmund have gone, all right, 80-odd million. And we've gone, well, now we've only got 70. What are you doing? Like, just buy the man. What do you think the score will be? I'm probably leaning towards 2-0 France. I just want to see some goals, really. I'm not even sure if I can remember what goals looked like after that 0-0 draw with England. I mean, it wasn't a bad game, but I do definitely want some goals. This could be a goal fest. And if it is going to be a goal fest, you've got to fancy France. You've got to think that France are going to be the team that's going to be providing them. Just breaking news on Sky Sports. Oh, very cool. So, yeah, it's Frenchy. I'm going to say 2-0 France. I'll go with that. It could be more. You could be right. It could be an Mbappe hat-trick. I don't know how many of you watching that have got your fantasy team, but I'm certainly thinking Kane might have to come out. I've just got no confidence in him after those 2 games now. 2 games without scoring. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll, click. He'll get on the end of something. But, I mean, when you've got, like, Mbappe and you've got Ronaldo and everything, it's hard to stick with Kane, isn't it? You can call me Frenchie. Okay, thank you. I'm always late, says Jacko, but Mbappe doesn't play until match day 3, so that's unfortunate. Mbappe doesn't play. Is he not in the team? I haven't even looked. He's in the team. The team's been announced, and Mbappe and Benzema up top with Griezmann, Rabiot and Pogba and Kante, and then obviously Varane in defence. I believe that's the actual announced team. So either person. If you've got the option of Mbappe or you've got the option of Ronaldo, then either option is a great option to have. I've got neither option. I went with Lukaku, who didn't score, Kane, who didn't score, and Yilmaz for Turkey, who, fun fact, didn't score. So it's been an awful week for me in regards to the fantasy game. I'm really looking at ripping the team up and starting again. Because, it's been very, very frustrating this week. Portugal, Germany will be game of the day. Yeah, that'll be a little cracker, that will, won't it? I mean, you do fancy Portugal in it. I thought Portugal looked very impressive last week, but then they were playing Hungary, so it's hard to get a read. Portugal against a very good German team, not a great German team, just a very good German team. Because this Germany's not an embarrassment. This Germany's not... I know a lot of people are saying that they're not where they should be and everything, but that's by typical German standards. They're still a very good side. So Portugal facing Germany in Germany is going to be a very, very interesting game later today. Both teams are waiting to come out. So just setting up the tweet just to let people know we're live. Because as we said, we haven't been live this early. But we are live right now, of course, for the first game of the day. Kante, Ronaldo, Marino, Kimmich, Neuer. Digne should bag me some point. Wow, yeah, Jacko, you've got a good team there. You've got a good team there. I got a Ruby Magnum. Amazing. I'm excited for the next game. I got 2-2 draw. Ronaldo, 2 goals. Werner and Cruz if they play. Well, if it is going to be 3-1 and 2-2, then that means we've got a hell of a day ahead of us with plenty of goals, and I'll definitely take that. As both teams emerge in a packed stadium. That stadium looks rammed. So, no restrictions there by the looks of it. Lots of French fans, lots of Hungary fans. Great noise from Wembley yesterday, I will say that. Yeah, brilliant. Look at that. Okay, so the French national anthem being played. There's Mbappe. After the round 16, I'm going to use my wild card. Then later my money no option, closer to the final. Frenchie said, I just want goals. James Chadwick said Spain, Poland tonight should be good. Yeah, Spain, Poland starts at 8 o'clock. I can't remember what time we start stream later. But we will be doing UFC, and we will be just keeping an eye on that game as well. So, yeah, it should be fun. There's a lot going on today. Sadly, this is the only stream I can be a part of. I'll have to miss Germany, Portugal, and UFC. We'll make sure you have a good day, Dave. Can you stream the Spain-Poland game? We're doing UFC. We do UFC every Saturday, so we will be keeping an eye on it whilst we're doing UFC. I just want goals. Your French team is spot on. The only team I would make is Digne from... that, I think, is the actual team. So, I get that information from OneFootball. And it's really good. So, we've got the French team, and we can switch it over. And we've got the Hungary team as well. So, that's how Hungary are lining up. I really like the 5 in the midfield. I thought that was brilliant for Scotland. So, be interested to see how the 5 in the midfield does for Hungary against France here. But I do like it. Because I kind of like the fact that there's different parts of it that can attack. And there's different parts of it that can, like, sit back. And, yeah, I think it's interesting. It feels like it could be very fluid with the way, the options that you've got. The Germany game starts at 2 a.m. for me in Australia. Wow. James said the UFC stream starts at 9. Okay. I'll have a look, see how we feel. Once we've done these 2 games, staring down the barrel of a 6-hour UFC stream, we'll see how we feel. We might start at when the game starts, or we might just start at 9. Graham said Germany have a good crop of youngsters coming through. They've just won the Euro under-21s. They will be a force again in a few years' time. Yeah, I mean, they're never going to go away. We can hope that they'll go away, but they'll never go away. So, yeah, they are always a team to keep an eye on. I do really love that midfield of 5. I'm fixated on it now. But I just don't see him playing it because it means a back 3, and I don't think he'll play a back 3. Plus, you know, if we've got a hard game against Portugal or something, then it's hard to see him go in so attacking. If he was going to go attacking, I think he would have done it against the Scots. But who knows? Maybe he'll take the shackles off against the Czech Republic. I mean, we only need a draw in that game to, you know, be absolutely guaranteed of going through. Even if we draw and Croatia win, we will still go through. It's only if we draw Scotland. Oh, no, I think we go through. Because if we draw and Scotland win, then I think we would be third, would we? It would depend on goal difference. If we draw, we're second. If we lose and Croatia win, we're definitely going through. If we lose and Scotland win, then it would come down to goal difference. So, and even then, I think we would go through in third place. So I think we are guaranteed to go through now. We might have to go through in third place if we lose, and it might be who's got the most points. So that could get a little bit ooh. But yeah, I mean we're pretty much through. So with that being said, can he afford now to be a bit more attacking against the Czech Republic? If I was Southgate, I'd be tempted. I'd be really tempted. Because if you're not going to do it, when are you going to do it? I don't know if you're going to be that attacking during the knockout rounds. There's Kante. We're just waiting a few more seconds till we get going. We've had the national anthems. Days looks like I will get no sleep today, said Frenchie. Maria said, I'm going to hack you. Well, that wouldn't be nice. Right, we are underway. As soon as we get the stats, I will look to get them on screen. But we are up and running. France versus Hungary. Ryan, good morning. Paul Turner said, I'm back. Did I miss anything? No, the game has literally just started. A. Charles said, it's great to see the matches being shown in a lot of bars in the US. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. It's kind of interesting what the US's relationship is with this, because not only are they not in this tournament, but they would never be in this tournament, because obviously this is just for Europe. It's the Euros. So I wondered if you lot might be showing the Copa America, because that's being played right now as well. But I kind of feel like the more exciting matches is happening in the Euros. But that's good. That's nice to know that it's on TVs over there. I'm going to watch the F1 as well. Oh, I forgot that was even on. The actual race isn't until tomorrow, though, is it? Normally Saturday is the qualifying and the race is on a Sunday. Dave said, England get a draw. They're on 5 points. Czechs would be on 5 points if Scotland win or Croatia win or a draw. It both would go through, yeah. A draw would be enough for England and Czech Republic to go through. The annoying thing is that Czech Republic beat Scotland 2-0. We beat Croatia 1-0. So if we draw, it actually means we go through second place. We don't go through top. And there's quite a few people that I think would be all right with that. Because even though we lose Wembley, we actually get what would be on paper a slightly easier next game. So I think Gareth might be quite happy with a draw against Czech Republic. And then we get a slightly easier next game. The problem is, after that, you get a France. After that, you do not get an easy game. There will be a drinks break in this at 15 minutes, says Stephen. Stephen said, if you had one player to have on your team, would you pick Ramos or Suarez? Well, my team is Man United, so I would pick Ramos. I mean, Suarez is definitely a player that is exciting, and he's going to get you goals, and he's going to get stuck in. I really like Suarez, but I just think for United, we need a central defender, and if we were to get one of the best central defenders that's ever played the game in Sergio Ramos, I understand that he's old. I understand he's like 35, 36, but he's still got at least a season or two. So, and his experience and his leadership, and you know, I just kind of feel like he would bring a lot to that back line. I also think that Harry Maguire, when he plays for United, I think he's constantly looking at being the leader and being in charge and having to, you know, worry about other people's mistakes. He maybe doesn't have to worry about Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, but if he's playing with Bailly, then he's got to worry. And Lindelof, not the most solid. So I kind of feel that if you put him back there, it just mentally might free Harry Maguire a little bit. We've got the stats, by the way. So yeah, it just tightens that defense, and that is definitely an area that we need to tighten. I'm just going to change these names around because, of course, we are in Budapest. And the stats are actually this way around. So if we change it so it's the right way. So when it is possession, so there we go. France 59%, Hungary 41% so far. Hungary 75% of their duels won. France 25% of their duels won. When it comes to United, I want to see them getting a central defender. I want to see them getting a central defensive midfielder. Those two areas. Yes, I'd love to see Sancho come in, but it doesn't fix the real problems we've got. Apparently, we put a bid in for Varane, but haven't heard any more on that. But United have got to be interested in Ramos as well. Salah would face Ramos again. Would like to face Ramos again. That's for sure, says Dave in real life. Steven said, score I'm going for is 4-0 France. Crazy Ginger Jake Holden said, I would rather finish first than second if you look at who we play. Yeah, I don't really disagree. I think if we finish first, there's a chance that we play. I mean, this group's really important because, in a way, I want France to finish top in this group because then we would play a Germany or a Portugal. Portugal look great, though. I mean, there is not going to be an easy game for England if they finish top. You know, it could be that we play France. If we finish second, it's slightly easier. I think if we finish second, let's just have a quick look. If we finish second in Group D, then we play second in Group E. So second in D plays second in E. So that's the Spain, Sweden, Poland, Slovakia group. I mean, it could be Spain. It could be Sweden. Could be Poland, could be Slovakia. It's probably not Slovakia, but it could be. But Spain or Sweden, I'd probably say is who we'd end up playing. Spain or Sweden, which is definitely easier than France, Portugal, or Germany. But the problem is, after that, you then get a massive team. But whichever way you go, you're going to get a massive team. This is the Euros. You've got to beat. I think rather than sitting there and just planning it out, if I was Gareth Southgate right now, I'm going to be totally honest. If I was Gareth Southgate, if I'm sat in there, Gareth Southgate, the public are booing me, right? We got booed off at Wembley. I've got all this attacking talent that I'm not using. We've pretty much qualified now, thanks to that point. It doesn't really matter if you finish first, second, or third. Like, it doesn't really matter. I would be attacking in this third game. I would give people what they wanted. I would go for it. The attacking talent on display for that third game would be like, what? Look at this. Foden, Sancho, Sterling, Grealish, Mount, Kane. I would try and find a way of getting as many of them onto the pitch as possible. And we would go like all out attack really, and see how it goes. Who knows? You might end up losing, but even if we're losing, we've got 4 points, and even with a loss, we should go through. And actually, amazingly, we sat down and planned out the route to the final. We planned out the route to the final if you finish first, if you finish second, if you finish third. I think finishing third is the easiest way to the final. Certainly if all the results go the way that we planned, which was, how you would imagine they would go, and I think largely how they're going. Being third seemed like the slightly easier way. So if I'm Gareth Southgate, I'm like, it doesn't really matter if I finish first, second or third. I'm going to have to play tough teams whichever way I go. But finishing third is absolutely not the end of the world. By far, not the end of the world. It does mean you lose Wembley. Wembley is if we finish first. But, if you lose Wembley, how much of a difference has Wembley been making? I'm not sure. And Wembley is not a venue for the quarterfinals, I think. So none of the quarterfinals are at Wembley. So we've got to leave Wembley anyway. So I just think give people what they want. Put the attacking talent on there. Go for it. We've got one of the best attacks. Because what happens if we blow Czech Republic away like 4-5-0? Can you imagine if we destroy them 4-5-0? That'd give him something to think about. So I hope he tries some stuff. That's what I'm hoping for. He won't do it. He won't do it. He won't do it. Keep dreaming. Dream on, boomer. Dave in real life said Southgate needs to make a statement, get a performance that makes other nations take notice. I completely agree. And I also think what he needs to do is he needs to find a way of... ball gets whipped in by Hungary. He needs to find a way of... getting the public kind of a little bit back. The public, he hasn't lost the public. We're obviously all going to sit down and watch that Czech Republic game. But I do think from an England point of view, there's a lot of sadness around right now. Because, it's coming home. It's meant to be coming home. And we can't even beat Scotland. Which is now all of a sudden making us think, might not be coming home. But I think it is coming home. I kept saying, and I'll say again, Portugal drew all 3 of their group games. They drew all 3 of their group games, and they went on to win the tournament. So can you imagine the kind of press that Portugal was getting when they drew all 3 of their group games at the last tournament? I should imagine that they were on the verge of going out in the group. So they only finished their group with 3 points. So I would imagine that the press in Portugal were battering them. Were not impressed at all. So, I kind of think that the groups, you just got to do what you do. It doesn't change the fact we've got an incredible squad. Doesn't change the fact that even though this hasn't kind of worked, I'm really pleased. This hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked in the group stage. So I really like that because hopefully Southgate's going to go away, have a look at it and make a few little tweaks and changes. And who knows, for Czech Republic game, he might make a massive tweak and a massive change. Mbappe's gone down, holding his leg, but I think it's all right. Heavy tackle from behind, and it's a nasty tackle in all fairness. He's back up. Slightly limping, but I'm sure if the ball comes to him, he'll be racing away. Harley said, I agree with you about Kane, but I think Sterling has done well. Tall Paul said, Southgate is getting found out. I don't know that he is. If I'm being truthful, I don't know if he is. I think he purposely wanted to be conservative. I don't know that he's being found out. I think what's happening is that we're finding out, and we already knew, that he is not. He was a defender when he played. Gareth Southgate was a defender. He is naturally always going to think defence first. And that's not really a bad thing. They say, don't they, when it comes to like the Premiership, attacks win matches, defenses win championships. Like, if you can't defend, if you can't keep clean sheets, you're not going to get anywhere. So I don't mind that Gareth Southgate is defensive-minded. I don't mind that, I mean, we haven't conceded in those 2 friendlies or the first 2 games at the Euros. Like, our defence, I'm not saying is rock solid, but we haven't conceded in 4 matches. Oh, shot saved. Ball bounced out to, I think it was Griezmann. Griezmann took a shot, and it was a great second save by the Hungary goalkeeper. That was good. So, France knocking on the door. I think Benzema with the first shot, and then I think it was Griezmann with the follow-up. Lovely ball down the middle. Played off. Lovely shot. Palmed it, and that's great. So, yeah, I don't know if he's being found out. I don't know that he's standing there and he just hasn't got a clue. I think he has got a clue because, I mean, he's got Sancho. He could have brought Sancho on. It doesn't take anyone to look at it and go, shall I take Phillips off and put Sancho on and be a bit more attacking? But the thing is, he didn't want to. That's what it comes down to. He didn't want to risk losing that game 1-0. So he said, I could have done it. I could have changed and gone more attacking, but what if we'd have lost our shape? If we lose our shape and our structure, and we lose that game 1-0, Scotland pinch a winner, then everyone rightfully is having a go at me for losing that game. It's not good enough. They've got to tweak and change something, but I think honestly, I think they were quite happy with the point. Or at least Southgate was. Because it's put us in a position now where we're pretty much qualified. We don't have a vacancy, Frenchie, at the moment, I'm afraid. Scott said, don't know what you're saying. Scotland is winning the Euros. It's coming harm. AJ said, Days, what do you think about Saka? Do you think he deserves to be on the team, the bench, or the 11? Well, I think Saka works hard. I like Saka. Saka was a bright spark in the friendlies. That he played I don't know if he played the second friendly. He played the first. It's just hard to get into this team. So he deserves to be in the squad, 100%. Great player, very useful, very versatile. But who does he replace? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think Phillips was undroppable. You might be able to drop him now. But I think Phillips' performance against Croatia was so impressive, you couldn't drop him here. I don't think you're ever going to drop Rice because he is the person you want in that role. He's not spectacular, but he's just solid, Rice is. Like, in that defensive midfield role, he's absolutely brilliant. But he does sit so deep. It is basically another defender in a way. So I don't think that he's the kind of player that Southgate loves. So it's gonna depend what formation he plays, but he's not gonna drop Mount. The country won't want him to drop Foden. You could drop Sterling, I suppose, but I think he felt that Sterling racing towards the Scottish defence would prove problematic. But I do like Saka. Hard worker, and definitely has got a place in the team. Nice header wide. Mbappe rising up. That was so effortless there by Mbappe. So the ball out to the wing and whipped into the centre. Mbappe on the end of it. Was there anyone on him? There's no one on Mbappe. There's no one putting pressure on Mbappe. He's just free to head the ball. And he heads the ball wide. Are you streaming UFC tonight? Asked Rhino. Yes. Here's left winger as well, says Kieran. I'm going to tell Mama Days on you. Do it. See if I care. Football fans are worse than wrestling fans with all the moaning, says James Chadwick. I just think it's like we want England to, win and be successful, and I think, it's going to be the same in every sport, isn't it? You know, where your team isn't successful, you're going to obviously have your own thoughts about how they can change it and what they should do. And they say, don't they, that England manager is the impossible job. It's the impossible job because England expects, and if you fall below that standard, if we go out at the quarterfinals, there's grumbles. If we go out at the semi-finals, I think they're seen as, you know, well, they tried their best. Semi-finals, I think, is an acceptable level for England to go out at. Final would be great. Winning it and you get a statue. Honestly, if Southgate wins the Euros, I could see him getting a statue. So if you win it, you get a statue. If you go out in the final, well, they're still heroes. They did us proud. If you go out in the semi-finals, it's acceptable. Quarters, there's grumbles. Anything below that, and it's a disaster. It's a nightmare. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to the country. That's England at the Euros. If we were to go out in the group stage, I think there would actually be a public execution. I don't know who. It might be Southgate. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure the BBC would screen a public execution of the person we felt was responsible. So going out in the group stages is not an option. But yeah, it looks like we're getting through the group. So Hungary fans are doing the clap. I can't remember what that's called, but I remember Iceland were doing it. And they've lived a little bit of a charmed life here, Hungary. Certainly the better chances fall into France. France with 62% of the possession. 2 shots, 1 shot on target. He used 3, Rashi, Jack and Bellingham. If we get knocked out in the last 16, even I think Southgate should get the axe, says Retribution. Well, it's difficult because we might end up with taking on like France or a Portugal. I mean, if we lose to Portugal, I don't... It's difficult. The game, it's going to be a tight game, isn't it? Another header goes over by Mbappe. Just can't get underneath those heads. Yeah, it's difficult. If we go, it depends who we go out to, I think. If we go out to a Sweden, then questions need to be asked. But if we end up going out to like a France or a Portugal or something like that, I don't know if I'd be too surprised. I kind of think those games are going to be very, very close. How we not getting knocked out in the group stages, that's insane. Do you remember Southgate only used 2 of 5 substitutions? There's no excuses, says Alfredo. Oh, it's called the Viking clap. Craig said, good morning. How are things going today? They're all right, yeah. We're setting up for a big day today. Big day today. I think the next game we should just start Jack on the left with Saka or Sancho on the right. That would push defences back. I would like to see... maybe a 4-1, 4-1, or maybe, ideally, I'd love to see 3-5-2. That's what I'd love to see. But yeah, I don't think he'll do it. But maybe a 4-1, 4-1. I don't want to see 2 holding like defensive midfielders now. I think I would like to see us be a bit more attacking. That's what I want to see. I want to see us more attacking. Fun fact, Bailey Bianca will be the 4th women's Hell in a Cell match. It will be the first women's Hell in a Cell match without Sasha. Good fact. It'll be tight, but if you want to win tournaments, you've got to beat those teams. It's a good point. It's a good point. It's very true. To win this tournament, we are going to have to beat at least 2, maybe 3 big, big teams. And in order to do that, you do need to be tight at the back. So, this is what I'm saying. I'm not too against him being so defensively minded. It's just our attacking threat is not right. Tyrone Mings was like quite not pleased, but he was like, I'm really pleased with I said not pleased, but he was like happy that they kept a clean sheet. And I get that, you know. If you look at how Italy take pride in their clean sheets, we should absolutely be the same. Italy can be winning 3-0, and in the 90th minute they're still throwing bodies in. You know, they could easily lose 3-1. It's not a drama, but they put such pride in keeping a clean sheet. We've got another player down here. He is moving. A couple of medics next to him, though. It's a Hungary player. If we go 3-4-3, then Saka on the left and Jack just in front of him, says AJ. Scotland 3, England 0 will be the final, mark my words, says Scott. James Chadwick said Harry Redknapp should have been England manager by now. Crazy Ginger said, I would rather lose going out on my shield than draw by playing defensive. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'm not disagreeing. But if he plays attacking and we end up losing 3-0, he'll still get criticised for that. He'll say that people will say he got the wrong tactics, rightfully. They'll say completely got that wrong. They'll say he hasn't managed that game correctly. He's not the right person. So he's in a very difficult position. He's got to find a way of winning the games. He's got to find a way of not losing, basically. And he's got to try and, you know, get a goal. And that's what he did against Scotland. He set up so that we didn't lose. That's how he set up. But against a team like Scotland, and no offence to Scotland, but against a team like Scotland, who are, I think, the third worst ranked or third lowest ranked team in this, I think people just expected England to be a bit more attacking. So setting up not to lose against Scotland is not what the public were looking for. I think the public would understand England being that defensive against a Portugal or a Germany. I'm still waiting here. This player, I think, is he going off? Yeah, I think he is coming off, you know. It's their number 9 as well. For Hungary, who walks down the tunnel. So, slight delay right now. There is a substitution. So, Hungary's number 9 has actually come off. So, Sazlay. So, that you'd think that would be a loss for them. I don't really know a great deal about this Hungary team. What I do know is it's a free kick to France. It's going to have to be a hell of a shot from there, but they've got players that can do it. Look at Mbappe staring at goal. You could get that up and down. It's kind of a nice range. He's gone for it, but it's bounced off the wall. I never understand. Best teams win tournaments. 2 years qualification for your best team. Play them together in friendlies. Arrive at a tournament like a team that know each other. Yeah, it's a good point. You know, you should be using your friendlies and the qualifiers to try all these things. The only thing is, you know, there's going to be changes, isn't there? Like, he could have just spent 2 years, like, really working with Trent Alexander-Arnold, really working with Greenwood, really working with these players, and both are out. He could have been working with Maguire, working with Henderson, you know, and all of these players are out. So you kind of need to have backup plans and backup to backup plans and different strategies and formations and all this kind of stuff. And I do think that England can adapt and England can change. And I think I hope we see that against the Czech Republic. But personally, I just think that we need to go all out attacking. Really, I think we need to bring some excitement back. Because I don't think that, you know, the way that he set up against Scotland is the way that the English wanted to see him set up. We wanted to go at him. Do you know what I mean? There was a bit of banter and everything. And England have got this great team, and we wanted to go at them. We wanted to get at them, and it just felt like the reins were on. It just kind of felt like we were being held back by that formation. And, we easily could have put on, like, a Sancho who scored, 15 goals and got 15 assists this season. Saka, as you said, who's, likes to really work hard, get stuck in. Bellingham, who likes to chuck himself about. Proper box-to-box midfielder. Like, England have got great options. So, we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, that was a bit of a waste of a free kick by France. Just went straight into the wall. Almost half an hour gone and still 0-0. Harley said, I'm happy that we're getting Seth Cesaro and Owens Sammy. They had great matches at Mania, but they could have been better because matches were too short. I don't think they'll be short at Hell in a Cell. Craig said, I love these live streams. It's nice to hear perspectives on wrestling and football. Craig, shout out to you, buddy. It's nice for me as well because I might not actually be watching this game if it weren't for you guys. I was fast asleep, waking up about half an hour before the stream started. So, to be honest, there's every chance I would have just slept in. So it's kind of forcing me to get up and watch these games and spend this time with you guys. And it's really interesting getting like your perspectives as well. It's good. I've really enjoyed these football streams. I've really enjoyed them. I was saying, but because what's great about these football streams is it's lovely to talk about stuff that isn't wrestling sometimes. And that's great. I've enjoyed that. But what's also helped is when we do the wrestling streams, I get excited to then talk about wrestling. Because I've spent so long talking about football, it's great then to talk about wrestling. What I'm really enjoying at the moment is the variety. I'm really enjoying the variety. Because it's nice to focus on different things. I think where we've been focused on wrestling so much on the channel, and that will always be the priority and the focus and whatever, but it's just it can wear you down sometimes when you're just 100% focused on the same thing. But like anyone, I've got like a whole variety of interests. With wrestling just being one of them. Ball in the centre, shot. Oh, he's put it wide. Benzema puts it wide. It's another great chance for France. Wow, Benzema racing in on the edge of the box. Perfectly fine, all onside. Plays it back. How has he missed that? For someone of his quality, you're expecting a goal there. Look at that. He's got the whole goal in front of him. Beautiful back heel by Mbappe, who does completely miskick it. Footy divides people just like wrestling. You've got to love it. AJ said, do you think Kane should be dropped? He's our biggest goal threat, but he hasn't done anything so far. Yeah, I would drop him. I would drop him. It'd be a big call, but if he sets that team up, attack him, and he puts on Sancho and Foden and Grealish and Mount, and Sterling or Rashford, if he puts on all that attacking talent and he shows, I'm attacking, we're going for this, I don't think people will mind that Harry Kane's not playing. The thing about this England team is we are not a one-man team. Gone are the days where we have to worry about wrapping Michael Owen up in cotton wool. There was a time where Michael Owen was like, if Michael Owen didn't go to the tournament, we were screwed. But we don't rely on Harry Kane that way. So we are definitely a worse team if Harry Kane isn't on form. But you can easily put Rashford in his position. Calvert-Lewin's just had a great season. So, you know what I mean? If we put Calvert-Lewin up front, he's just had a great season. There's really no drama. I think, as fans, we need to move away from the idea that any one player is going to make or break this tournament for us because we've got such a great squad. Like, people are fighting to get into this starting 11. And if I'm Calvert-Lewin, I'm genuinely thinking I've got a chance of starting this next game after how Harry Kane has played. So I wouldn't be worried about dropping Harry Kane. The rest, the break might do him well. You might get a reinvigorated Harry Kane. Beautiful footwork there by Mbappe, weaving through the defence. And again, the ball goes wide. Mbappe is just running the show here. Look at that. Past one player, in between two, in between the legs of a fourth. It's just... How do you stop this, man? I don't think Kane is fully fit. Maybe he's got half his mind on that transfer issue, says Tall Paul. The thing is, it would be a massive risk playing Rashford in these games with his ankle injury. I would stick Calvert-Lewin up there. Yeah. I mean, it is a bit of a problem for England because you've got Maguire who's not 100%, Henderson who's not 100%. It doesn't look like Kane is 100%. Rashford isn't 100%. But it really doesn't matter. Honestly, you don't need to play any of them players. Our squad is so good. I literally trust all of them players. I trust them all. I think you don't need any of them to be in the team for us to get a win over the Czech Republic. You've still got Foden, you've still got Mount, you've still got Calvert-Lewin, you've still got Jack Grealish, you've still got Bellingham, who's a great player, you've still got Rice. Like, we've got great players in that squad. So, losing Harry Kane just doesn't... And I think that's encouraging, the fact that Southgate took him off. I think Southgate took him off because Southgate can see it's not working. And maybe a game off for Harry Kane to, if he's got a little niggle or he needs a breather, maybe a game off would do him well. Maybe Kane does need a rest. In that case, yes. But I would still play him in the knockout rounds. Oh, yeah. I mean, once we get to the knockout rounds... well, that's a different animal, isn't it? I tell you, once we get to the knockout rounds, then you are being brave, resting someone like Harry Kane. But I still think that if he doesn't play even in the knockout rounds, it's not the end of the world. If we have to play Portugal next and we don't have Harry Kane, we're not out. It's a knock, definitely, but We've got such a good midfield. Lovely turn. Hungary are living a charmed life at the moment. France with just wave after wave of attack. I've got underwear that's older than LSW. I think players are too young. They don't have the experience. I think Kane brings experience. He's not influencing the game, though. I mean, he's just not getting into the game. He does drop deep and try to get involved and get on the ball. But it really feels to me like he's just really out the game. He gets like about six touches on the ball or something. Like... The amount of touches he had was like next to none. He's not in the game and he's not influencing the game. And I don't know at what point is like shouting at players and being vocal. I kind of feel like we do need more experience in that midfield. Like I think Rice and Phillips have done well, but maybe we do just need Henderson back. Maybe we're really missing Henderson. Because Henderson's a great player and also he's an experienced head and he's very vocal. And maybe someone in that part of the pitch that, you know, is right by the defenders. You can see the whole game. Maybe Henderson would make a difference for England. Just don't know if he's fit. I mean, he has played a little bit, but we haven't seen him in this tournament yet. But if he's not going to play in the tournament, why take him? So they've got to be confident that he's, you know, getting there or thereabouts. It'd be great to see him start against Czech Republic, actually. France passing it around. We've got about 8 minutes left in this first half. Hendo is a massive miss. Crazy Ginge Jake Holden said, I think the team needs to be built more around Kane to suit him. Then the other players will flourish around him. It's all good stuff. It's all interesting points. I can't wait to see what's up. It's going to be such an interesting game. Even though the result might not be the most important in this tournament, you know, we're pretty much through. I mean, we absolutely don't want to lose. And my concern would be that Southgate's going to look at it and just think, like, you know, he's gonna just try for that point again. He's going to set us up as exactly the same formation, defensive first, but he's got to give the public something. He's got to give the public something. Playing the ball along the back line, Varane. On the ball for France. Graham said, to be fair, the Scotland midfield used the ball better than England did last night. For his first international start, Gilmour played really well. Our downfall was the strikers. Yeah, Gilmour was pulling the strings for you guys. I must admit, I haven't seen much of Gilmour. So it was always a bit tricky for me to see, like, from a Scotland point of view, who was on the ball. Because there's a few players in your team that I obviously don't see that often. So I don't know them as well as I know the England team. But so it was hard for me to say, like, who had pulled the strings. But everyone was raving after about Billy Gilmour. And as soon as I saw, like, the recaps of what he'd done, like, a lot of the key moments had been Billy Gilmour. So he really had put himself about, and he is such an exciting talent for you lot. He was brilliant. It is worth just mentioning that even though we can sit here and say England weren't attacking enough and all this, Scotland were great. I mean, they really... you'd struggle to play better than that, apart from finishing. If you could finish some of the opportunities you created, but I loved your midfield five. I thought your five in the midfield was brilliant. McTominay as well was great in defence. Billy Gilmour got man of the match. So, yeah, we can sit here and say England have, you know, frustrating that they didn't go for it, blah, 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 blah. But no disrespect to Scotland, who played their part. Absolutely. I mean, I think that'll be quite exciting for Scotland going forward. If you play that formation and, you know, Billy Gilmour can, you know, keep that kind of performance up, then who knows? I certainly don't think you're going to be scared of Croatia at Hampden Park. Should Grealish play more? Asks Dave. Well, I don't mind Grealish coming off the bench, but he just didn't... When he came off, he didn't make much of an impact. I can't remember who said it, but one of the pundits said... that when the substitutions was made, nothing changed. I think it was Gary Neville. Gary Neville said that they brought on Rashford, they brought on Grealish, and nothing changed. And I agree. That's why I think it's the formation more than the players. I think Steve McManaman, I heard a quote from Steve McManaman. He said, look, England could have had Messi and they could have had Maradona at the top of the pitch, and it would have been the same result. The problem was that midfield and our shape was not creating the chances. Like, we were saying this during the game. We've got one of the world's best strikers, and granted, he might not be on form, and he might not look fit. But how many times did we get the ball to him in the Scottish penalty box? That is the whole purpose of the team. So your defence, obviously, keeping clean sheets. Your midfield is there to build the attacks and, you know, deliver assists. Obviously chip in with the odd goal. But really, they're there to get the ball to the strikers who are going to be in and around the penalty area. So you have to look at our midfield, which is a brilliant midfield when you look at, the personnel. But the formation just is not right. We're just not getting the ball to Harry Kane, and we haven't been getting the ball to Harry Kane in either of the friendlies or either of the first 2 games. So you'd have to look at it and say the way that we're playing and the formation that we've got is not getting the ball to the strikers or the striker. It's not getting the ball to Harry Kane. So I understand a lot of people saying that he's not looking great. He isn't looking great. He could easily drop back in the midfield and, make a few things happen. But, there was a couple of chances that he's missed and just doesn't seem to be quite up to speed. So I agree there's something not right. But we're not getting the ball to him either. I think it's I think it's a bit unfair to say it's all on him, if that makes sense. So, you could have had Calvert-Lewin, and if we're just not going to get the ball to him, it's not going to make a difference. You could have Mbappe, and if you're not going to get the ball to him, it's not going to make a difference. What's weird is if we did have Mbappe, I think we would work really hard to get the ball to him. But we've got Harry Kane, and I don't think we're working as hard to get the ball to him. I know someone who could return at Hell in a Cell. It might be Sasha Banks that could attack Bianca. That's true. Looks like this is going to be 0-0 at half-time, so, France are going to be feeling like England were feeling. The only difference is France have had some wonderful opportunities. France have really had some opportunities in this game. So, 7 total shots they've had. 7 shots, only the 1 on target, though. But I don't think France are going to be too concerned. But I think I'd be a little concerned if I was watching France. I think Mbappe looks amazing. But France don't look like they're going to blow teams away. One day, Boris will be England manager. I am anti-education. The uninformed and unread are the future geniuses, says William. William, shout out to you. That's why I always wear glasses to read properly. Without them, I wouldn't be able to see properly. Hayden, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Okay, so five added minutes. We have had a bit of injury stuff, though. But 5 added minutes. The whole stadium right now is just kind of a bit tense, really. Hungary have got the ball with their keeper. Big boot down the field, but it looks like that's going to go to a French player. Sasha will return at Money in the Bank, says Crazy Ginger Jake Hold'em. Here comes Hungary. Hungary charging forward into the penalty box. Shot! And it's a goal! Hungary have scored! Hungary have scored! Oh! Did you see that woman? Did you see that woman? Oh, that's amazing. That's my favourite thing that's happened at this tournament. That is my favourite thing. Oh my God, I love it. Oh, I love it. Hungary have scored. He runs over, he jumps over this like tensor barrier next to the pitch. There's a woman that's like commentating or something for, I don't know who she's commentating for. I don't know if it's like Hungarian TV. But the goal scorer runs over. He flips something off the table. I don't know if it's like a bottle of water goes flying. And he like bangs the table like this. And she just she's commentating. She looks up, she goes, and she just has to like smile at him. Because he's so pumped. Do you know what I mean? He's just scored at the Euros. And he's like, ah! And I want to see a replay of that. I want to see him going over and banging the table. And this poor woman. This poor woman. She sat there commentating. She has to go. Please don't hurt me. Smile. I come in peace. I come in peace. Oh my god, that's one of my favourite parts of this tournament. That woman is a legend. How are they not showing a replay of that woman? Twitter has got to be talking about that woman. They've got to. They've got to. If they're not talking about the woman, then I just can't. I can't even. I can't even. 1-0 to Hungary. Who expected that all of a sudden that 0-0 against Scotland looks all right, you know? All of a sudden, Gareth Southgate's a hero. Oh, man. Oh, my God. If someone's got a clip of that, you've got to send it me. You've got to send it me if you've got a clip of that woman. I might even have that clip just playing on a loop on my tombstone. Get a little TV built in. Just have it playing for eternity. Where's the woman? I've put France in. Hungary take the lead. I just replayed it, says Harley. Oh my god, he's banging on her table. She's absolutely scared to death. Poor woman. I've just googled woman France. Some great results coming up there, let me tell you. Wonderful results. Ball's in the midfield at the moment. There she is! There she is! There we go. Look, he races over to this table. There's that poor, poor woman. She has to, like, just look up while she's commentating, just give a little smile. Oh. This woman is a legend. The shock on her face when the players raced over to celebrate. Favorite moment of the Euros so far. Love it. Love it. People are, hopefully people will have her on TV. What was you thinking when the players came over? She just raised her arms like, yay! It was awkward. It was super awkward. Look at the Hungarian fans. It is bouncing right now. Oh, God. I want more pictures of that. So I want more pictures of that woman. Because I think she's commentating. She looks up and she looks a bit like, oh, what's happening? And then when she realises that he's like celebrating right near her in this camera, she goes, it's that sudden change from, oh my God, what's going on, to she's my spirit animal. Guys, I just found my spirit animal. I have just found my spirit animal. It's that woman right there. Oh, I love those kind of moments. I love those kind of moments where that poor woman, she's just trying to get on with the job. I didn't see France being down at half-time. Hey, who did? It was Viola that got the goal. I think France are the better side. I mean, this is just football. Do you know what I mean? This is how football works. Do you know what? This isn't great for England, by the way. If France are going to finish second and England finish like first. Yeah, they were saying that, how would you describe France? Because they were just magic at times in that first half. I mean, apart from that goal. Was it the 45th minute, I think? I mean, it's just the worst time to concede as well, because the French manager will have had an idea of what he was going to be saying. So he will have had an idea of what he was going to be saying at half-time. That goes out the window now. The only thing I'd say is that France have had opportunities. They'll have more opportunities in the second half. I will be shocked if this ends 1-0 to Hungary, but... Wow. The lady is trending, is she? Is the lady trending? Oh, I hope she's trending. She deserves to be trending. What is trending? What would they call her? The lady. Table lady. I don't know what you would call her. I've DM'd you the clip on Twitter. Thank you. Brilliant. Let's have a look. Oh, you DM'd it me. Oh my God. I'm gonna see if I can show you. It's not gonna really work. Look, he jumps over. There she is. Ah! Yay! She's looking away. She's looking away like this. He comes over. Boom! Bangs the table. Huh? I love this woman. Oh. I have no idea how to take a DM'd video clip and do anything with it, though. So that is beyond my capabilities right now. Oh. And they've scored a goal. I want a full biography of her life. That's what I want. I want to know her whole life journey. How did she even get to that table? How did she get to that table? What's her story? Who does she work for? What's her dreams? What's her ambitions? That is epic, says Craig. It's such a weird thing to have. Just like a table just set up, and she's kind of like... She's watching a monitor to the side, which makes it even better. What makes it even better is the fact that she's actually, like, watching the monitor. I mean, like, it's a weird thing when the game's there. It does beg the question, why are you even there? But maybe she does, like, interviews or something. I don't know. I don't know what she's doing, but she seems to be watching the game down here, talking into a microphone. She must see that he's approaching her table. She must know that he's coming. She's watching it. He's scored. He's running over. There's nothing in her head saying, oh, he's coming towards me. He's coming towards me. Because it seems like when he bangs the table, that's the first time she goes, ah! 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 Oh. I love football. Scenes! Absolute scenes, says the metal. Harley said, Days, breaking news. Boris Johnson has just said the new law, it's illegal to eat bananas. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. All I'm thinking about is this woman. I hope she's all right. Retribution says, Days, I love her too. The woman's reaction is Days when Raw finally has a good episode. In my mind, she's watching us. In my mind, she's down here watching us. She's like reading your comments and kind of like she's talking about the game, blah blah blah. But she's watching us, and then poof, Table gets banged up. I'm sure water flew or something flew. I thought he was trashing the table at first, you know. When he went over, I thought he was so pumped up. I thought he was like hulking out on the table. I think she kind of went like this to make him stop. Because he came over and I don't know if he banged it or flipped some at first and then banged it. But like he really was like, oh. And you can get it. He's just scored a goal against France. Totally understand. But that's such a great reaction, isn't it? Ooh, you've done well. Well done, you. Double thumbs up. I come in peace. Come in. Don't hurt me. Oh, God, that woman. I don't think anything's going to top that in my life, to be honest. I really seriously enjoyed it. Days got so excited, I did. I mean, it's exciting enough that they scored the goal. I'm looking on Twitter and a lot of people are talking about the goal. Pfft. Who cares about the goal? Hungary have won. Celebration of the tournament. Mental scenes in the Hungarian crowd. Oh, that woman. That woman. The Hungarian goal celebration. I just want to sit here watching it. I'm sorry, the stream has completely fallen apart now. Now I'm just sitting here like, I just want to keep watching that celebration. There was a great show. Brilliant show called Badil and Skinner's Fantasy Football. And whenever there was like a major tournament on, they used to do it just weekly anyway for a couple of years. But whenever there was a major tournament on, each night of the tournament, they would do a quick little half-an-hour show. And they would just look back at like fun moments of the day. And they'd talk results and they'd bring in guests and throw in a few interesting stats. And it was really good. Like they would recreate famous goals as well. So they had little segments. But they would have gone to town on that. They would have absolutely gone to town on that segment. They would have absolutely loved that. It makes me think of that. And I'm kind of gutted we haven't really got a show like that. There is a Peter Crouch one that I tried to watch, but just seemed very... didn't seem very, like, funny or anything. Like, so there is a Peter... I like Peter Crouch. But, no, it's no fantasy football. Dave said it's moments like that make football great, not the goal. Harley said, Days, it was Austin who secretly is that girl trying to connect the internet so she could join the stream. Days, do you think they should scrap two-leg replay games in FA Cup and Carabao Cup, get rid of extra time, just go straight to penalties? Players look burnt out. Sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you can't do it over 90 minutes, then, yeah. That would help, wouldn't it? Anything that can reduce the amount of football, I think would be good. So yeah, I would agree with that. Crouches late Euros live. That's what it's called. Have you seen the Dutch youngster Gerwin? He looks good for fantasy. I can't say I have. No, Gerwin. James Chadwick said, "I'm enjoying the Crouchy show after the games." I tried to watch it. I just didn't find it very funny. I mean, it's BBC One. It's kind of like mass light entertainment kind of a thing. But I kind of felt like fantasy football was a bit more. I don't know, a bit more for football fans, and I kind of feel like the Crouchy thing's a bit more for everyone. It's for the nation. I kind of feel like it's the kind of show that Graham Norton could do. It's kind of like a light entertainment thing. It's not a criticism. It's just it's not fantasy football. That's what it comes down to. If Lana was there, the player who scored would have power bombed her through that table. Do you remember Remford Rejects? I do, yeah. I do remember Remford Rejects. Good show. Would be major scenes if that were LSW. What's your thoughts on Becky coming back, teaming with Liv, winning the tag titles, building to a match next year? Sure. I mean, I suppose you've got to do something with Liv, haven't you? So I don't see why you wouldn't give her that opportunity. But yeah, I've never been a massive Liv Morgan fan, to be honest. I haven't seen or heard anything from Austin. Oh, he'll be around. Badil and Skinner's fantasy football was great. I miss Stato. Stato. Yeah. And obviously it was that show that kind of gave us Three Lions. You know, that's why Badil and Skinner did that song. That's why they were asked to, you know, do it. Because they were doing that football show. I fell asleep halfway through AEW. What happened? Oh, it was dull. AEW was not great at all. The start of it was all right with the MMA fight, but the rest of it was a bit meh. So Paul said, if France lose, I'll feel better about England. On the other hand, I've got 3 French players in my fantasy team. It would be great if Soccer AM did a Daily Euros show. That's a show that seems to have really declined. I've never been an avid viewer of it, but I think during like the late 90s, early 2000s, when you had like Helen Chamberlain, and I can remember being in this is a true story. This is crazy. I was in a nightclub in like my local area. It was kind of like the big nightclub to go to in the local area. So, you know, there was a good, I don't know how many people would have been in there, to be honest, but there was a good, we're not talking like 100 odd people. We're talking there's probably over 1,000 people in this club. And it was the place to go, and I was really young, and it was like really my first time of ever going into a nightclub. So you're a little bit, I was a bit nervous, and it was a bit like, oh, okay, I'll go and get a drink. Like, what do I do if someone talks to me? And you know, you get a little bit unsure. But anyway, I was in there, and it was about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and they were showing that Soccer AM. They had, because I think it was Saturday night. So it was Saturday night. So the Soccer AM that had been on in the morning, they were replaying it at like 1 or 2, and they had it on screens, kind of where the bar area was. They had it on screens, and it's a great little memory of me being in a club for the first time, and them having like Soccer AM on TV. You just kind of, what world is this that I've walked into? And funnily enough, I've never seen Soccer AM on in any other club that I've ever been into ever again. It's very rare for them to have TVs on and shows and whatnot. But yeah, that's one of my favourite Soccer AM moments. Feeling a little bit unsure. Feeling, I'll be honest, a bit nervous. Like, oh, what if someone talks to me? What if a girl starts talking to me? Because I was very young. I was probably about 16. And I was in this club. But having, like, something familiar on TV, like Soccer AM, like a familiar show, you know, it's just kind of, okay, cool, let's get a drink. And if I do get a bit stuck for what to do, I can always just watch this. So, yeah, it was cool. But very strange. We are underway with the second half. James said, Soccer AM is great. I watch it every week. Days got made that night. No, fun fact. I absolutely didn't. And I did have a good time, though. But I remember, like, walking out of... because I was with friends. So I remember coming out and just feeling like... Oh, feeling like king of the world. Like, I'd gone into a club. I think when you do something like that for the first time, like, you get such a buzz once you've, like, done it. So for the first time, you know, you get ready, you go out with your mates, you go to a club. I spent a bit of time on my own, like, wandering around, going onto the dance floor. Just kind of, like, seeing how this works. Do you know what I mean? How does this work, then? Do people all stand by the bar? Is everyone dancing? Like, what's the kind of unwritten rules? That's what you're trying to work out. What are the unwritten rules here? What's the stuff that I need to know? And I remember going in there, and everything had gone fine. I hadn't got in a fight. No one had a go at me. There'd been no awkward moments. I'd had a drink. Music was good. I remember just coming out like, yeah, man, that's good. Definitely going to do that again, kind of a thing, you know? So I remember coming out. It's one of those, kind of like, I went in a boy, and I came out a man. Mbappe, oh, lovely. He loves them back heels, doesn't he? Absolute scenes in America. A Brit just called it soccer. Headed back. France. On the ball. Rabiot. The lady reporter is okay. She has now moved from pitch side. This should be an awesome second half. Whip the ball in, gets headed out. LSW, shout out to you. This Puskas Arena in Budapest is blooming awesome. It's nice, isn't it? Really nice stadium. I'm not sure the capacity is all that big, but it is a really nice stadium. Ball whipped into the centre. Oh! Hungary are going to live a very, very charmed life here. France are going to be looking for 2 goals, aren't they? So maybe Hungary will get an opportunity to hit them on the break. Honestly, if Hungary win this, Southgate will look like an absolute hero. Southgate will look like an absolute legend. Never did I think I'd tune in to see my team Hungary winning, says Miss Clown1. Dude, they're winning the Euros. They are winning the Euros. They are currently beating the world champions. Let's not forget, France won the World Cup in 2018. They are beating the world champions. It should be like wrestling. If you beat the world champions, you become the world champions. The World Cup on the line. Is that a full crowd? It looks packed. Yeah, I think it is a full... Yes, I'm pretty sure it is. It's hard to tell because, like, there's so... Like, Hungary playing red. So it's hard to tell what are the red seats and what are football shirts. But, no, I mean, they showed it at the start and it was absolutely rammed. It's definitely not a reduced capacity. Definitely not. I don't have a dog in this fight, so I'm just going to enjoy the game, says Chris. France with a shot, and the ball goes wide from Pogba. Pogba hitting the turf in frustration. Yeah, he kind of slipped. He sort of slipped as he fired the shot. Ugh. A frustrated Pogba. The capacity isn't too bad. It's 67,000. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. And obviously it's going to be predominantly a Hungary crowd, so they're going to be right behind their team here. Can they hold on and get a famous victory? Still a long, long way to go. 39 minutes to go. There's still a long, long way to go. But yeah, that's not a bad capacity at all. If you are just joining us, this game has got very interesting. 1-0 Hungary. This could be the biggest upset in the tournament so far, if they hold on. Ball whipped in, cleared out by Hungary. I want Hungary to score again. I want Hungary to score again, and I want them to find that woman again. How can I watch that goal moment and the reaction of the reporter? Probably on Twitter. There's definitely tweets that say goal celebration. Like I've seen tweets saying Hungary win, best goal celebration. So you'd be able to watch it on there. It'll be all over Twitter. Lovely ball that played down the wing. Fivola pumping it forward, and that French player going down quite easy. Can someone get the team a Snickers? They look a little hungry. Days Max Verstappen is on pole for tomorrow. He's a problem, isn't he, Max Verstappen? We need Lewis Hamilton to win one more world championship, and then he gets the all-time outright record. I think at the moment he's tied on 7 with Schumacher, isn't he? So, like, how dare Max Verstappen have a good season this season? I mean, it's making for an interesting season, but I would like an interesting season after Lewis Hamilton has got the all-time record. Daisy's all about that woman report. I don't even care about this game anymore. Ball whipped across and into the arms of the Hungarian goalkeeper. Sadly, she is like bottom. If she stayed where she is, she's like bottom right. So, like, we're not going to see her. The cameras aren't going to pick her up. It's a shame she's not the other side. Because then we could just keep an eye on her, check she's alright. Because she's had a stressful day, man. You know what I mean? She's had a stressful day, that poor woman. She definitely deserves a glass of wine after this. How are you doing? Can you remember me from yesterday's football streams? Of course. Thruka, shout out to you. Hamilton is second, says James Chadwick. How dare he? How dare he be second? He was looking so good as well in that last race, and he just needed to... with the restart, wasn't there like 3 laps left? And I think, did he lock up the car or something? But he took the lead, and he was going to get, like, retake the championship lead and everything. So, I mean, it's great. It's great for the neutrals. It's great for the neutrals this year. So, France on the ball, unsurprisingly. Passing the ball around in the midfield. Goes back to the defence. Trying to build up another attack. Yesterday, there was a tornado warning in New Zealand. One person sadly passed away. Oh, what? Did the tornado actually hit? Sorry to hear that. I've put the clip on Daisy's post for everyone to see. I've put the clip on Daisy's post. What does that mean? Oh, I've retweeted it. Ah, Shaquem sent it over as well. John said that's how my first wife reacted when I proposed. It's just the best. Yeah, look at this. Score a once-in-a-lifetime goal for Hungary against the world champions and celebrate by angrily ravaging a woman's table. He angrily ravaged a woman's table. Oh, I couldn't look. There's nothing that's going to happen that's going to make me love this more. He jumps over, he bangs it, and then he flips it up. Oh my God. He jumps over and he bangs it down, knocking Summer off. And then it there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. The shock on her face. She can't believe it. I seriously could watch it again and again and again. She'll go in Hungarian folklore. I mean, just imagine how many times that goal is going to be shown. Imagine how many times that goal is going to be shown. And who's not going to see that celebration? She is going to be known in Hungary. I don't even know. She might be Hungarian herself. I'm not sure. But she is going to be known. If I've got a little talk show, like say I've got a TV kind of magazine type show, like This Morning or Good Morning America or something like that, I'm calling her up. Will you come on and tell us what you were thinking when they scored and celebrated and ravaged your table? How long had you had the table? Have you got other tables? Oh, was that a save? Yeah, he's checking his hands to make sure they're still there because that is a hell of a shot. Oh! I think it might have bounced off the post, actually. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. I think, did he get something on it, the goalkeeper? But it does hit that post and bounce out. Oh, my God, look at that. So, France hit the post. Sneaking up to the hour mark. This is amazing, isn't it? This is amazing. They should definitely send her some flowers. Yes, I'm still thinking about her. They should definitely send her some flowers. Days, do you think France will win this game? They could, easily. Let's not forget what Portugal did. Scoring 3 after the 84th minute last week. Do you know what? Actually, now we think about it, Hungary were a tricky little team, weren't they? They really kept Portugal out until like the 85th minute. So this is a team that's not easy to like brush aside. Kind of thought they were going to be the whipping boys in this group, and honestly, what does that do to this group if Hungary do get a win here? Hungary are playing great, says James Chadwick. Ball played into the centre. Days, great question. Do you think Seth wearing suits makes him look like a joke? Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. They're going for that drip vibe, aren't they? But it doesn't work. I think he does look like a joke. I don't buy it. I don't buy this is who he is. I don't believe it. And you're right. I think a joke is a good way of wording it. I'm waiting for him to go back to being the great wrestler that we know. This gimmick, this Messiah stuff has just been awful in my opinion. Days, if Hungary wins, you've got to say that I'm a better predictor than you. Did you predict Hungary? I can see Hungary getting a draw or even hanging on for the win, says AJ. Dave said maybe Hungary are going to be the Iceland of this tournament. Maybe. That's a good shout. They are bouncing in the stands. They are absolutely bouncing. There she is. There she is. I can see that woman. I saw her. She's not watching any screen right now. Look at the stands. Look at the fans. They're like absolutely bouncing up and down in the stands. Wow. Do you think we can get past Croatia? Scotland? Yeah, sure. If you play as well as you did against... I thought you played well against Czech Republic. I thought you was unlucky against them. I mean, forget the second goal. That's a fluke. You lost 1-0 and you had chances. I actually thought you was the better team against the Czech Republic. And then, obviously, you played England. And even though I think England should have been a bit more attacking and whatever, take nothing away from Scotland, you guys were great. Having played Croatia and seen Croatia against Czech Republic, having seen you guys, it's in Hampden. So it's in Scotland. You've got Billy Gilmore. I think you can absolutely get a result there. Does a draw do you? I don't think it does it? Heartbreakingly, if you get a draw, I think you go out because of that fluke goal. That's why goals are important. Because Croatia lost 1-0 to England, but you lot lost 2-0 to the Czech Republic because of that second goal. And if you end up going out because of that second goal... Here's Hungary trying to break, but there's too many French defenders around. Hungary just can't get, on the ball. They can't get much opportunity. France now. Mbappe striding forward. Excellent work. Yeah, picked his pocket there, and Hungary have managed to get the ball off him. They've got the ball in the midfield. And there's nowhere for him to go. He's got no options. He's done well there. He goes down, and I think he's won a little free kick, has he? Fair play. Hungary, who are beating the world champions, have one of the best youngsters in the world. Sab, not even playing. I've not heard of him. Do you agree with Billy Gilmore getting man of the match for Scotland? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really have given it an English player, to be honest. I think for England, it's a disappointing result. For Scotland, it's a great result. So I think Scotland had to battle hard. And I don't know that there was an English player that really deserved it over a Scottish player. The only thing I don't know is what Scottish player deserved it more. Because I thought there was some really good performances, but... yeah, I've got no problem with the Scottish player getting man of the match. Ball whipped in, and very comfortable. What's your thoughts on Steve Bruce? LSW. Oh, has he got it? Has Mbappe got it? Mbappe's managed to get the ball, plays it across. And it's 1-1. Griezmann. It was Route 1. Just a long ball from the goalkeeper. So they went from that free kick. That's heartbreaking, that is. It's just so hard to contain Mbappe. Look at that. So goalkeeper, after the free kick, goalkeeper boots it down. Ball bounces in between the two central defenders. Mbappe makes a nuisance of himself. Plays the ball across. They don't properly deal with it. The marking isn't good enough. And Griezmann is right there. Oh, heartbreak. And still plenty of time for France. Still plenty of time for France. Did England win yesterday? No, it was 0-0. So, Griezmann on the 66th minute. Has he scored? I don't know how many goals he's scored now. There we go, Griezmann. Mbappe is a machine. He really is. He really is. He's a bully boy, isn't he? That's what he is. He's just a tank. He's like a really speedy... He's like the world's fastest tank. Goal. Yeah. Griezmann should have gone over to the lady, you're right. Griezmann should have gone over. Only instead of destroying the table, he should have raced over and he should have just slightly arranged a few things. Dusted it off a little bit. He could have gone over to her. If I was Griezmann, if I'm Griezmann, I'm running over to her. She's going to be like, oh my God, not again. I'd be running over like this and I'd stop and I'd go. And then she'd do it back and it'd be amazing. We'd break the internet. We'd be the new Brangelina. Is this a free kick for France? Free kick for France. Oh, absolutely brilliant. James, shout out to you. Ball whipped in. Oh, goes wide. Goes wide. Mbappe again. He is so up for this. He looks, he looks fresh. He looks energetic. He's getting involved. They're getting the ball into the box. They're getting the ball into him. Yeah, ball just going wide. Look, if you said to Hungary on the 69th minute, so it's time for a cooling break, guys. Cooling break. So if you said to them, look, on the 69th minute, you're going to be 1-1. I think they would have took that. Days, choose one song, your favourite song, and Screech Nakamura. No, I'm not. You've got me confused with some sort of performing monkey. That's not what I do here. We go with the flow. Did you order the football cards? No. I did not order the football cards because I forgot. Euro 2020 collector's cards. Let's have a look. Euro 2020 collector's cards. Only £20 on eBay. Do you get... What do you get? What do you get? You get 10 packs. Adrenaline official trading cards. 10 packs. 50. 90! £90 for 50 packs. Wow. My God. £90 for 50 packs. Right, I might shop around. I might shop around. That probably is the right price thinking about it. But flippity-doo-dah. £90. Oh, collecting cards is not cheap, is it? Edward, shout out to you. There are Euro cards. Yeah, of course. Euro sticker books, Euro collector's cards. You can get the cards of all the players. Here come France again. Griezmann on the ball. Pogba. 19 minutes, so France obviously want to find that second goal. Get the new Alexa Bliss Lily Tops card, says William. Miss Clown 1 said bargain. Side foot, but the ball goes wide. I would get the sticker album, says James Kenny. Yeah, the only problem is with the sticker album. Yeah, the only problem is you want to collect them all with a sticker album. I suppose you want to collect them all with a collector's card thing, but if you get one, like, really cool card, I think I'm quite happy with that. Because the thing with cards is that you can, like, this. If you get, like, a really good, like, rookie card, imagine if you got, like, a Billy Gilmore Scotland card. Like, that might have some value. Depends who wins the tournament. Listen, if England win the tournament, them cards are going to be worth serious money. That the England Euro 2020 cards, if England win this tournament, are going to be worth some serious money. Who's not going to want that set of England players? The England squad, the Euro 2020 England squad cards. So, like, I think with collector's cards, you're looking for good ones. You don't have to necessarily collect them all. But I think with sticker albums, you definitely need to collect them all. Otherwise, it just feels incomplete. The people that believe football is coming home are the same people that believe Days is 21. Well, Mr. Meme, I think you'll find that both things are actually true. Thank you very much. Hungary on the ball. So 73 minutes have gone in this game. We will be doing the next game as well. And obviously the next... Oh, into the centre. Hungary getting a shot off. So the next game is... Portugal-Germany. That's at 5 o'clock. So in an hour and a half, we've got Portugal versus... I mean, what a game. We all saw what Ronaldo did last week. What can Ronaldo do this week? Days, what streams are you doing for the final round of group games? Since the games are kicking off at the same time, are you going to cover each group? Yeah, I mean, we will focus on whatever is the sexier of the two games, to be honest. So, you know, if it's... Obviously, England will be focusing on that. England, Czech Republic. I want to see how England's set up, but of course we're going to be keeping an eye whilst that's happening on Scotland and Croatia. Italy, Wales will do, but we'll keep an eye on Turkey and Switzerland. Don't forget, these games start tomorrow. If you've got a fantasy team, make sure you are getting your fantasy team changed, your transfers sorted for week 3, because that has got to be sorted. Because week 3 starts tomorrow, and you don't have to wait for like week 2 to finish or anything. You can sort week 3 at any time, so make sure you're getting your week 3 sorted. Substitution here by Hungary. 15 minutes left. I've got 6 players playing today in my fantasy team, says AJ. Hayden said, I'll be turning the big 21 this week. So, yeah, Graham, we will be doing whatever is the sexier game. Are you guys watching the match and Days at the same time? Yeah, I think that's how people do it. Some people might be at work and not able to watch the game. So they might just be tuning in. But I think a lot of people do watch both at the same time. It's just a good way to share your thoughts, get your what you think about the game, who you think the best player is, anything that's catching your eye. Put it in the chat as Hungary look to attack again. Ball bouncing, but Lloris grabbing a hold of it and booting it down the field. Hungary have managed to get a hold of the ball again. You know that France are going to get at least 2, 3 more chances in this game. If not more than that. But can Hungary hold on? Because this is quite the score. I mean, I thought there was a good chance we were going to see France blow Hungary away. I mean, what it is it's just a little reminder This is not easy. This is not easy. Playing these teams is not easy. Even Portugal against Hungary was 0-0 until the 84th minute. I found some WWE shoes in the UK that say Eva on a shoe and Lily. Do you want a pair that say Eva and Lily? I couldn't think of anything worse, William. I honestly would struggle to think of anything worse. It's nighttime, says Jayati. Is that how you pronounce it? 77th minute. We've got 13 minutes to go. 1-1. What a result this would be for Hungary. Even a draw would be big for Hungary because it keeps them in this group. If they were to lose here, they'd be pretty much looking at being eliminated. The thing about Hungary as well is they played Portugal, did really well apart from the final 5 minutes. And now they've played France and they've done really well. And hopefully they can get a result here because Hungary really don't deserve to be going home, really. Not on these performances. So I'd love for them to battle their way into 3rd place. Maybe Germany go out in 4th or something. So free kick for Hungary. Any team can beat any team. It doesn't matter about rankings, to be fair. That's true. That's very true. I still hope that Gareth Southgate goes attacking against the Czech Republic, though. Did someone say sexy? Sexy. Can Germany go through? Yeah, Germany can go through. Of course they can. They lost the first game against the French, but I think do you know what? If this ends a draw and Germany lose to Portugal, that sets up a massive Germany-Hungary game, doesn't it? Germany-Hungary is huge. Winner would go through. What would a draw do? A draw would put Hungary through. If this ends a draw and Germany lose, a draw would put Hungary through. Well, maybe not through. It'd put them in 3rd place. It'd put them in 3rd. Germany would definitely be out. If this is a draw, Germany lose and then get a draw, they would be out. Days, I got France walking away with the Euros. I'm now 6th in the league after being 3rd bottom, says Edward. That's good. It's very good. AJ said if Portugal beat Germany later on, Hungary could go through in 3rd place, depending on their final game against the Germans, says AJ. That's true. Yep. France being quite patient, but Hungary have got lots of men back. So looks like it's going to be a corner to France or into the final 10 minutes. Final 10 minutes. Giroud is up. Are we bothering to predict Hell in a Cell? I sort of did it on the Wrestling Escape pod, and there wasn't really loads to go through. I mean, granted, now there's been another couple of matches added. One's happened, and a couple more have been added, so... But, I don't know. I'm really struggling to get excited for that pay-per-view. I was kind of excited for it, but... Maybe it's got a little bit more interesting now that they've added these matches, but these last-minute matches getting added... Just kind of feel like the build hasn't been right for it. Lovely save. Great save by the keeper. Mbappe on the ball in the penalty area. And he just absolutely walloped it, but it's a great save by the keeper. Hungary living a charmed life. Ball bouncing around, headed out. France still on the ball. I hate when people say only stand wrestlers because of how good they are, but how attractive they are. Days we will be watching the hotter game. Can someone explain how third place can go through? Yeah, there's 6 groups, and the 4th best third place teams still qualify. They still go through. So it's going to come down to the 4 teams that have got the most points. And then I think it would probably come down to goals. I'm not sure how they would separate it. But I think it comes down to points and goals scored, goal difference, all that kind of stuff. And they'll find the 4 teams. And then those 4 teams go through to the knockout stages. So that means we've got all the winners, all the second place teams, and 4 of the third place teams go through to the knockout rounds. Days, I thought you wanted them to add Sammy and Kevin. Yeah, I just think the build just hasn't been great. They add in Sammy and Kevin makes sense because that feud has been going on for a while, but we've lost Roman and Ray now. They've added Seth Cesaro, which is fine. And they've added Sammy and Kevin, which is great. But they are both matches that we've seen before. We've lost a match that we haven't seen before. I mean, didn't you say they'd never faced each other, Roman and Ray? So we've lost that match. Which is, it's all right. But it's just we've lost a match that we've never seen and gained 2 that we have. So I'm struggling just to get really excited. I'm probably more excited for it than I was WrestleMania Backlash. Make no mistake about it. I'm still, we've still had worse pay-per-views than this, but don't know. Maybe if like Sasha does come back, that'd be quite exciting. I just don't see any titles changing hands, and there's a couple of matches that we've already seen. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Ball played back. The build to Hell in a Cell has been bad, like really bad. I think the build to a lot of the pay-per-views this year has been bad. I don't like the build to WrestleMania. I don't think was that exciting. I don't have Peacock, so I'm just going to stream in for the commentary. Who do you think will return? Harley was saying earlier that about Sasha, which I thought was a good shout. Because I think she has finished filming now. And they could definitely bring her back without fans. Played into the middle. Hungary trying to clear the ball. Right, ball's racing out. Yeah, goes out. It's going to be... there's only 5 minutes left here, 5 minutes left in this game. I mean, there will be some added time. There was a drinks break, so you'd imagine that added time is going to be significant. So don't be surprised if when the board gets held up, it's going to be like another 5 minutes of added time. So there could be like 10 minutes total left in this still. But time is ticking, and, Hungary, every second that passes by, Hungary are going to get more confident. The ball bounces off a French player there. I mean, this isn't a disaster for France. It's not a disaster. That'll give them 4 points. It could be... England might have a problem. All of a sudden now, we don't quite know how this group's going to finish. Ousmane Dembele has come on. I'm playing the game you're playing too. Yeah, it's gripping, man. It's absolutely gripping. 3 minutes left of normal time. The ball is back to the Hungarian goalkeeper. He tries to clear it, but it bounces off Giroud. So yeah, it comes off and it ends up going out. So he's done well there. I mean, like, the ball hasn't actually got that far down the field. It's going to be a Hungary throw. There's a lot of French players around. Hungary throw the ball, falls to a French player. They clear it. Hungarian player goes down, wins a free kick. More seconds ticking away. Each second that passes. Huge. William said pay-per-views are more exciting to watch days. Callum Z says, I need to let people know. You can get the network for 99p if you're in the UK. And just let people know I'm playing the game you're playing too. I don't want to jinx it, but without Roman Reigns, that means Bobby Drew will main event. And I could see the pay-per-view ending with Bobby standing tall. I can't see the pay-per-view ending with Bobby standing tall. It could end with Bailey and Bianca. That's a Hell in a Cell match as well. France trying to find a way through the middle, through the centre. Long ball out to the left wing, but headed away by the Hungarian player. I don't think Portugal doesn't need to do much to go through. I think 2 ties will do it, but I expect Portugal to get another win, most likely against Germany. Yeah, it'll be hard. It'll be hard for Portugal to get a result against France, I think. So I think if Portugal can get a win against Germany, they're going to be looking pretty good to top the group. That would likely mean that France are in second place. Yeah, Hungary have been brilliant here. And I do think this result will just make a few England fans think, maybe we weren't that bad. There's 3 Hell in a Cell matches. I swear Dembele got subbed on, now he's been subbed off. He was, yeah, that is true, he was. He had a slight injury by the looks of it. Which will come to the surprise of no one. Dembele and injuries go together like peanut butter and jelly. Mbappe pushing one of the Hungarian players over. So there's bottles and things being chucked onto the pitch. We've seen quite a bit of this, actually. Bottles and things being thrown. Right, here we go. So 4 added minutes. We've had 1 added minute already played. It's really gripping stuff, this. France have managed to get the ball in their own half, playing it out to the right-hand side. Back into the centre. Lots of boos for the French team that are on the ball right now. Do we really want to win our group if France finish second? And no is the answer. But you can't play for a draw. Ball played across. So France are just passing the ball. Long ball out to the left-hand side. Edge of the area. Oh, no. This will be so cruel. If France score now, this will be so cruel. Ball coming in. Blocked by the Hungarian player. They're having to defend for their lives. We've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all. We're 2 minutes into added time. But France are in and around that Hungarian penalty area. Kante is fouled. Right. Yeah, is he going to book him? No. It's about 6 yards or so outside the penalty area on the right-hand side. In a way, it's only like a corner. He's not... Griezmann, I don't think, is going to score from there. But, yeah, they really do need to be switched on here. 93rd minute. Tense. Here we go. Griezmann whips the ball in. Danger. And it goes into the hands of the keeper. He couldn't kind of keep a hold of it. A couple of Hungarian players go down. We're just going to need to have a look at a replay here. Oh, man. There's just a lot going on in there. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing here. They're saying that it might be a Hungarian foul, and if it is, that would be a penalty to France. It's being looked at. Yeah, I mean, oh no. The commentary, it's now the 94th minute. It is now the 94th minute, and they're saying that they're going to take a look at it. Oh, this doesn't look good. This could be a penalty to France. Oh, it's not been given. It's not been given. That's a big talking point. Right, we're 30 seconds past the 94th minute now. Ball whipped in. Oh, goes wide. Goes wide. Ball whipped in and it's headed wide by Varane. The Hungarian players are all embracing. And the final whistle has been blown. It's finished 1-1. Tell you what, the commentary team really thought that was going to get double-checked. Really thought they were going to look at that. There was a Hungary player that seemed to have his hands all over one of the French players. And they were like, if they check that, they're surely going to give a penalty there. But no penalty given. What a result. My heart was in my mouth. Not given. A VAR check for the penalty. Not. I don't even know if they checked it, to be honest. I don't even know if they checked it. He was on his headpiece, so I think they probably did. Doesn't matter how strong of a favourite you are in football, you never know. F France for ruining everyone's bets. Harley said, what do you think will be the match of the night? Bobby versus Drew, Bianca versus Bailey, Alexa Shayna, Cesaro, Seth Owens. Probably Owens Zayn. They tend to steal the show. Owens Zayn have just got such great chemistry. It's hard to pick against them. France not beating Hungary is the equivalent of England not beating Scotland. Tharuka says nothing. All the best teams draw their second games. Yes! Espacit. Only bosses draw their second game. Yes. Mbappe is trash. Oh, he looked good. He looked good in the first half. He looked good in the first half. There'll be a lot of fantasy teams that were banking on Mbappe. Did Mbappe get an assist? I don't know if he might have scored an assist. So he might have got something from the game. Apparently, Fiend has been advertised for Raw. Yeah, I heard a rumour he'd been advertised for a Raw in August, but I don't even know if that's true. I think it's just a rumour. I'm seeing a lot of fake news out there at the moment for wrestling, as always. France have only got themselves to blame. They created a lot of chances, and they did. Look at that. Total shots. I think it's like 15. 4 on target. 15 total shots. I can't wait for Portugal-Germany, says Harley. Do you remember when Bianca wore the attire last night? She was showing respect to Sasha for her WrestleMania gear, says Ant Washington. Yeah, so currently, France are top with 4 points. Portugal are second with 3. Hungary are third with 1. Germany currently bottom with 0. Obviously, Portugal, Germany have got to play their next game. It's a fascinating group, this one, isn't it? It really is a fascinating group. There's so many ways this can go. I think right now, probably Portugal are going to be the happiest. Roman Reigns still having a match on Sunday? No. Dave in real life said, real question, what is worse, draw to Scotland or draw into Hungary when you're the world champions? It's still coming home. Yeah, I mean, there will be some questions asked in France. If you can't beat Hungary, how are you going to beat Italy? How are you going to beat Belgium? I honestly think Italy look like the team in this tournament. Having watched a lot of teams twice now, it's Italy that are the standing out for me. Are you going to start the stream at the start time or as soon as we finish this? Probably at the start time. I want to go and just grab... I still haven't had anything to eat. So I just want to grab something quick to eat. Because I can't stress this enough. I literally woke up, set the stream up, and we were live. So I haven't even said hello to Mama Days yet. I don't even know if she knows I'm awake. So I'm going to go and just do a couple of things first. Martinez says, can you tell me how on earth did we manage to beat Germany, but we lost to the Ukraine and Austria? I can't give you those answers. All I can say is it is football, my friend. It is football. I love that woman. I love that woman. Yeah, look at all that crowd. People losing their minds. I want to see more of the woman. There he is. There is. Look at the emotion. Brilliant. That woman. Oh, I hope someone interviews that woman. I want to see an interview with that woman. I want to know, what was she doing? Did she know they were running towards her? What got knocked off the table? Have the team been in touch with her since? I want all them answers. Ant says, I like that woman. I'm going to marry that woman. It's unbelievable. Right. I think we're done anyway. We are going to go just for about half an hour or so. and then we'll be popping back with what a game we're coming back with. What a game we're coming back with. Only going to be away for about half an hour, so I can just grab something quickly to eat. But we will be back with Portugal versus Germany. I love this tournament. This tournament rules. Right, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Big shock in the first game of the day. Let's see what Portugal and Germany can dish up for us. And as we said, we will be back in about 25 minutes or so. So hopefully I'll see you then. Bye for now.